ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਉਪ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਟੀਆ ਫ੍ਰੀਲੈਂਡ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਦੇਸ਼ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਿਲ ਮਹੀਨਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਰਥਸ਼ਾਸਤਰੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਭਵਿੱਖਬਾਣੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਦੇਸ਼ 2023 ਦੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤੀ ਹਿੱਸੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੰਦੀ ਵੱਲ ਵਧ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਇਸ ਝਟਕੇ ਨੂੰ ਘੱਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਯੋਗ ਹੈ। ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਫ੍ਰੀਲੈਂਡ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੱਚਮੁੱਚ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਲੰਘਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਹਾਇਤਾ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਸਰੋਤ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਦੇ ਯੋਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ।
That are really significant for Canada. One is the measures embedded in the Inflation Reduction Act by the United States. And you will remember, Steve, I think you reported on this, that there was a time when we saw some of the draft legislation that we were really concerned that there could be measures in that legislation that would actively discriminate against Canada. Instead, what we see in that legislation is measures that actively encourage friendshoring, sourcing from U.S. free trade partners of critical minerals and metals, and a North American approach to EV incentives. That is really, really a great opportunity for Canada, for Canadian workers, for Canadian industry. And we're seeing some similar approaches from the EU. Robert Habeck, the German Vice Chancellor and Minister of the Economy, who was here with Chancellor Scholz at a recent international meeting, talked about how Europe needs to be careful not to be subject in the future to blackmail from authoritarian regimes and needs to diversify its supply chains. And we've seen the EU also take clear steps towards getting forced labor out of its supply chains. So I think from the two biggest economic democratic blocs in the world, the US and the EU, we're seeing clear moves in that direction. And what I wanted to say in Washington was Canada gets it and we're open for business. And what I want to say today to Canadians is this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and we need to really get our act together so we can seize it. What does it mean for our economic relationship with authoritarian regimes? I think it means tread with care. I think we need to be very careful not to have strategic vulnerability to authoritarian regimes, and the situation in which Europe finds itself, especially Germany, vis-a-vis Russia is a case in point. I also want to emphasize, though, when it comes to authoritarian regimes, that there is a global commons, and we need to work together to maintain the global commons. And I would say acting on climate change is number one. But we need to act together on global health. We need to act together on maintaining the global financial system. I think that we should be acting together when it comes to debt relief for the global south. So I really want to be clear. I think there is a lot we are doing and need to continue to do. But I think we also need to be realistic and be sure that where our economies are vulnerable to the decisions of another country, where we are dependent